Again, this is a teacher moment number 9 of my series called Teaching Moments. I was just mentioning to staff that breathing in deeply to start off your day is important. I now make it a habit, and I have it set on my phone to alert me every hour to breathe. It does two things for me. It gives me more oxygen so that my brain has better fuel, and every hour it stops me from being overcome with all the different anxieties that happen while we're working. If you just take 1 minute, just walk away from your desk. Of course, if you're with a patient, you can't do that, or with a customer. But walk away, go to another room if you don't feel comfortable doing it in front of your other employees, and just take 3 good, solid, strong breaths. It'll do several things, like I said before, to help you. It'll break off whatever anxiety is probably being produced by some of the stress that you're in. Gives you a moment to reflect on what's going on, and it helps oxygenate your brain so you can make better decisions. One of the things that I've been noticing, especially with my immediate pharmacy crew, is anxiety-induced stress due to the desire to want to improve and not make mistakes. So what is this anxiety doing to you? Making you not work as productively as you could. The very thing that you're trying to accomplish, the anxiety that you're putting on yourself, is actually making your job harder instead of easier. When you're under a lot of stress and you're under a lot of anxiety, you cannot perform at your best. If I were to try to remove these 4 baskets very, very, very quickly, faster than my brain and my hands can coordinate with each other, something's going to fall or fall out of the basket. There are some things that we cannot do so quickly and not expect something to crash. That applies to our jobs as well. If our brains are going faster than our hands can move, something is going to happen, and usually it's not a good thing. Okay? The breathing that I'm talking about, if you do it every hour, it will help break that stress, that anxiety developed stress. Because it gives you that one moment, that one few seconds to get away from all the stress and to hopefully calm yourselves back down and give you some revitalization. So I'm going to try to remind you all that you'll probably be hearing my little beeps during the day, and hopefully that'll be a signal for you all as well, as soon as you get a moment, to take a good 3 solid breaths. And don't do what you always tend to do, which is, oh, I'll do that a little bit later. I'll do that when I get done doing all of these things. Because you're not going to remember. Okay? One of the things that I always stress is take advantage of the opportunity at the moment to get things done. Because we always have a habit of saying, I'll do that later. And then later never happens in a lot of cases. You forget. Why? Because you have a lot of other things that are going to happen in between the moment that you said you were going to do something, and then when you have so many things that happen in between, you forgot about what it was that you said you were going to do. One of the things that we've been talking about is becoming a problem solver. And one of the things that I'm not seeing happen as of even today, after the 9th teaching moment, or actually 8, this is the 9th, but after 8 teaching moments, I don't have enough people coming to me and helping me solve their problems. Because otherwise, that tells me you guys have no problems to solve. So if I were to ask you, each one of you, do you have problems while you're here at work? I'm sure each one of you would say, yeah, there have been problems during the day that I have had trouble solving. Yet no one, or very seldomly, comes to me for problem solving. The easiest step to become a good problem solver is to go ask help of someone you know who has been good at problem solving. If you find someone in your team or your boss has been good and effective at helping you solve problems, then go to them for that problem solving situation that you're in. Take advantage of the expertise that someone else may have in problem solving to help you solve your problem. And that makes you an effective problem solver. You don't have to be the expert problem solver to be a good and effective problem solver. You go to someone else who has more skill than you to problem solve for you. That still makes you a good problem solver. Why? Because you took the initiative to find someone that can help you solve the problem. Why do I always stress, if you don't know, call Computer RX? Because they're the experts on our computer systems. They know a lot more than I do, than I will ever know. So they are a very effective means for dealing with problem solving when it comes to the computers. If they're not available, for those of you who are new here, Albert Corker is our other computer expert that is a contract employee for us, or contract work, who will come in sometimes to help deal with problems that we need to solve regarding our computer systems. So to become an effective problem solver doesn't mean you've got to be a great problem solver yourself. Just take the time to go ask somebody else that is. That's a very important thing. Because I want to become, for those of you who are having issues with your jobs, come to me to help you with your problem solving. I don't know all of your all's background in terms of your training, because I wasn't in the past directly involved with it. So I don't know your limitations. I don't know what you haven't been taught or what you have been taught that may be right or wrong in regards to what I consider to be correct policy here. If you happen to come from another location where you were trained in a certain way, then when you're dealing with a situation, let the person that you're talking to know, say, this is how I was trained on how to deal with this situation. Am I doing it right for this particular location? Because I may not agree with how you were previously taught on how to deal with the situation. If here in this pharmacy, those of you who have been here for a while are having issues with prioritizing your problems, then come to me saying, I've got 10 different things that I've got to work on. Help me prioritize. So that's a problem you're having, right? You have 10 things you want to do, and you don't have time to do all 10 things. Well, then come to me saying, sir, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things. I need help organizing and figuring out which one I should work on first. Because if I don't know you have 10 problems, I can't help you with any of them. I'm assuming everything's going well. So very importantly, let's control our anxiety by good breathing. Because trust me, if we don't have good oxygen in our brains, we're not going to be thinking very well in the mornings. And I do the breathing every day now. And it really helps me. I think Elisa saw me the other day, I was running around like a little rabbit. I mean, where do I get all that energy from? That's because I worked out in the morning. I get it from deep breathing. It gives me energy. It gives me focus. It gives me oxygen that I need. So, breathing is important. Getting the good oxygen into our brains so that we can make good decisions. Stop the anxiety. If you're having anxiousness during your work, you got to stop it. And the reason why you got to stop it is because, as I said, you won't make good decisions when you're that overwhelmed with all these feelings that are going on in your brain. You've got to control your psychology. That'll be something that I've always talked about, the mental mindsets, right? If we don't have control over our brains, we don't have control over our bodies. So I'm going to continue to stress that. If we don't have control over our brains, we don't have control over our bodies. Okay. So today, let's focus on reducing anxiety in our jobs by good breathing. Hopefully you'll see me as a good example for that. And then secondly, let's become problem solvers. That doesn't mean you have to be the problem solver directly, but that means that you take a problem that you have and you take it to somebody else that hopefully will give you the problem solving information that you need to move forward with your jobs. Okay? So this is Monday morning all over again, guys. Let's breathe in deep and let's get going. Let's prosper together.